June has always been a particularly busy month for the British royal family, mainly because there are only so many days of good weather in the UK, so they need to make the most of it when planning outdoor events. For example, this June, the royals had 3 major events to attend: Trooping the Colour, Royal Ascot, and the Order of the Garter ceremony. This year, the 3 events were scheduled quite close to each other. Trooping the Colour took place on June 14th, followed closely by the Order of the Garter ceremony on June 16th. Last year, Princess Kate was absent due to her cancer diagnosis, but this year she made a graceful and dignified return, which was warmly welcomed by the public. Then came Royal Ascot on June 17th. However, the highlight of the event took place on the second day, with the royal carriage procession held at 2 p.m. At noon, Royal Ascot organisers released the lineup for the royal carriage procession. In the first carriage were King Charles and Queen Camilla, and the second carriage carried Prince William and Princess Kate. Last year, Kate missed the event due to her cancer diagnosis. So when her name appeared on the list this year, the public was overjoyed, not only because of her presence, but also because it marked a rare stretch of frequent public appearances. For over half a year, Kate had been making steady, once-a-month appearances. But attending 3 major events in just 1 week? That hadn't happened since Christmas 2 years ago. What does this tell us? It suggests she's made significant progress in her recovery. However, to everyone's disappointment, less than half an hour later, Royal Ascot removed the original list and released a new lineup. Kate was no longer included. Kensington Palace also confirmed that she would not be attending this year's Royal Ascot. This sudden change raised eyebrows. The event was scheduled to start at 2 p.m., yet the lineup was revised at around 12:30. Even for a regular company team-building event, the attendee list would have been confirmed well in advance, let alone for a royal engagement. Looking on the bright side, maybe the world is just one big amateur production, and even the royals are a bit sloppy. But on the darker side, it's hard not to wonder, did Kate suddenly feel unwell? Since its establishment in the 18th century, Royal Ascot has always served as the social hub of the British upper class during the summer. Although the royal family's influence is not what it used to be, the event remains an important social occasion for Britain's elite. Because it is a social event, the entry barrier isn't that high. People outside the core royal circle also get some exposure. On that day, among the attendees were Kate's mother and sister-in-law. Their presence, combined with the original guest list released by Royal Ascot, suggests that Kate was originally expected to attend. Otherwise, it would seem a bit odd for her family to be there without her showing up. Of course, this is only speculation. The royal officials certainly won't disclose the exact reasons. However, the major British newspapers have mostly relied on the same insider account, which says there is no cause for alarm because Kate is simply following professional advice to maintain a balance between recovery and returning to work. The insider also mentioned that Kate herself is disappointed about missing the event but knows she must find the right balance. Given the delicate relationship between the royal family and the major British newspapers, this is likely the official royal line. In other words, if you want the behind-the-scenes scoop, you have to look to the American media, and they certainly haven't disappointed. The Daily Beast contacted a former courtier who remains in good contact with current palace staff, who revealed that things inside the palace are far less calm than they appear. Everyone is looking around asking, what exactly is going on? One minute she was saying she would go, and the next minute she said she wouldn't. This is one of the most important days in the royal calendar. No one just suddenly decides not to attend. So there was a moment of panic inside the palace. The chaos implied by the changed guest list brought back memories of last year's dark days. People were perplexed and worried. There were even rumors within the palace that Kate was unwell, needed to see a doctor, or had even been rushed to the hospital. The story was so outrageous that the Daily Beast tried to confirm it with Kensington Palace, but, unsurprisingly, received no response. However, one of Kate's friends said, "From what I understand, after the Saturday parade and Monday's Order of the Garter ceremony, Kate was exhausted and couldn't face any more. As she has honestly admitted, some days are good, and some days are bad." There's also an intriguing side note worth mentioning. The Daily Beast article points out that while most British media have stuck to the insider narrative, only The Telegraph, known for its well-connected sources, hinted she's looked very healthy recently. But that masks just how difficult last year was and how hard the recovery has been. Although the American media have been making sensational claims, there's no need to worry too much about Kate's real situation for now. When she announced the completion of her chemotherapy last September, she had already prepared the public by saying, "Doing everything I can to keep cancer at bay is my priority right now. Although I've finished chemo, the road to recovery is still long, and I have to keep making the most of every day." In other words, she is still in a semi-retired state. Her appearances are a pleasant surprise, but not showing up is the norm. Even as she gradually resumed work, both she and the royal family have remained very cautious in their statements, consistently using the keyword balance, showing no intention of rushing back to full duties. At the end of the day, Kate underwent abdominal surgery last year and was diagnosed with cancer during that time. She then underwent chemotherapy for over 6 months, and it has only been about 9 months since she finished treatment. Throughout these 9 months, she has maintained a roughly monthly public appearance schedule. To be honest, by any patient's standards, she probably shouldn't have been making so many appearances. But when someone disappears for a while, rumors inevitably arise, like the conspiracy theories during her cancer battle, such as she was replaced by a body double or she was stabbed by a mistress. Now, after missing just one Royal Ascot event, the media have once again gone into a frenzy reporting on it. The most likely explanation is actually what one of Kate's friends suggested: the recent string of events simply exhausted her. After chemotherapy, patients often experience persistent post-chemo fatigue, which isn't easily relieved by rest and can strike quite suddenly. Let's not forget, no matter how composed and graceful she appears in front of the cameras, Kate is still in the early stages of recovery from a serious illness. The last thing anyone wants is a repeat of the rumor-filled frenzy we saw before.